I was looking at gizmos. It'd be cool.
I can't get chat to load. There we go. We should let go.
I hope we're back. Okay, there we are. All right, so we're back. Another technical difficulty, we'll be fine. So we're here with Emily Taylor and Dave Georgeson.
Hi.
This is your assistant producer and executive producer, so I'll let them each introduce themselves and tell them a bit about what they do here and how excited they are for all the cool stuff coming today. So I'll start with you, Emily, since you're right here.
Okay, well, as you probably know, I'm Emily Taylor. I'm the associate producer for EverQuest II, formerly trade skill developer, and now sort of apprentice to Dave here. And very excited about the Age of Discovery. Lots of cool stuff coming, so we can't wait to get it up.
Maybe.
What, don't get the hair going?
Almost.
Get the hair going back, yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys all know me. I'm Dave Georgeson. I'm the executive producer for the EQ franchise, and I'm really looking forward to launch day today.
So do you guys want to tell me like what your favorite thing about today is? You guys most looking forward to Age of Discovery, free to play, specific feature that's coming out, GU62. We've got a lot of stuff coming out today.
I'm actually really looking forward to the patching process finishing so that we can open the gates.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Oh, louder? I can do that! Yeah, no, it's we've got a lot on our plate right now. Everybody probably knows already, but we're delayed a little bit on getting the patch out to the servers. We had a little technical difficulty, so we're working through that right now. But as far as once the gates open, yeah, well, everybody's going to want to land rush on the Beast Lords. And I can't wait to see it, yeah.
Oh, I'm going to be jumping into Dungeon Finder. I
Okay.
mean, Beast Lords are pretty cool, but I'm really looking forward to the Dungeon Finder. I always enjoyed the housing in EQ2, and I know, Dungeon Maker. Oh, not awake yet. Dungeon Maker. But it's amazing what people do decorating their houses, and so I can only imagine what they're going to do in Dungeons. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited to see that. I can't wait to I'm going to go home tonight and just look at the leaderboards and see who's on there already.
Yeah, it'll be really awesome.
Yeah.
So that actually is a really good segue because we have Greg Spence here who worked on Dungeon Maker. So we're going to have him come in and talk a little bit about it. So if you want to come over here.
Sure.
See you later.
Thanks, guys.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, how are you doing this
I'm
morning?
doing great for having woken up at 5 in the morning. That's a little earlier than I usually wake up, but yeah, it's going well.
Okay, awesome. Do you want to just explain a little bit about what you do here? I mean, I'm sure a lot of people know, but this way,
So
everyone's tuning in.
I'm Greg Spence, Rothgar on the forums, and I'm the lead programmer on EverQuest II.
Okay, awesome.
I also headed up the Dungeon Maker project, so that was sort of my baby, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what people can do with that when it goes live. It's going to be cool.
It will definitely be cool. Do you want to tell us a little bit about Dungeon Maker itself? What are the cool features that people can expect from it?
Sure. Yeah, so basically it builds on our housing system, so if you are familiar with decorating houses, it'll seem real easy to you. We didn't want to put in a complicated scripting interface or something that required you to learn a programming language, so you basically build the dungeons by dropping objects into a house. So you can drop spawners, which create mobs, and you can drop what we're calling effect objects that radiate an effect to the mobs that are in the room around it. So these effect objects can do all kinds of things, from giving the mobs buffs, extra hit points, increasing their social radius, and we have a lot of ideas for things we want to do with those in the future as well. So by dropping those effect objects and spawners, you can customize the encounters that you want people to experience when they come through your dungeon. Of course, you have access to all the housing items in the game, so
That's awesome.
you'll be able to use. We've created hundreds of new items just for Dungeon Maker, but you can put anything, almost anything that you could put into a house, you'll be able to put into a dungeon as well. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what people can do out there. We've also just, as far as customizing mobs, we've put some features in pretty recently that you may not be aware of. So you can customize the names of the mobs. You can also add flavor text. So you can trigger this flavor text on events that happen, like a mob getting aggro, dying, changing targets, battle cries, stuff like that. So you can put your own text in there, and the spawner, the NPC will say that text when that trigger occurs. So that allows you to flavor the dungeon and sort of tell a story as it goes if you want to. if you want to do that. So it's going to be pretty cool.
That's really awesome. I'm sure the RP community will really enjoy that,
Yeah,
especially.
yeah, that'll be neat.
Okay, and then do you want to talk a little bit about avatars? Because I know that's been a subject that a lot of people still may or may not understand.
Yeah. So, light almost went down. Yeah, so on our first pass for Dungeon Maker, we're using an avatar system, which is similar to what we did with arenas. The avatars that you play as, lots of different appearances, and they each have their own special abilities. We wanted to level the playing field. We wanted it so that when you create a dungeon, all players could experience that dungeon of any level. So, well, there's a minimum level of 20 to go in. But after that, anybody could play together and experience the dungeon. And we didn't want to use the mentoring system. We didn't want... We knew there would be really not an easy way for you to create a balanced dungeon that would be challenging to a level 90 in raid gear and also fun for a level 20 person who plays casually.
Yep.
And we wanted everybody to experience those dungeons sort of on an equal playing field. So we're starting with the avatar system. And you'll get to go in, choose from a set of unlocked avatars that everybody can get, and then you can also unlock more through the game. So there'll be avatars out in the world that will drop that you can get as quest rewards. There'll be ones that you can purchase on the marketplace for tokens, not necessarily for station cash, tokens that you earn by playing. You'll be able to buy more. So you can unlock these extra avatars and find ones that have styles that you like and play those. It'll also be fun to make groups and have people choose different avatars based on their abilities and see how they work together. So we're going to see how that goes, and we think that players will really enjoy that. But we are still looking at the possibility of you being able to bring in your own characters at some time in the
Very
future,
cool.
but we'll have to look at balance issues there.
Okay, that sounds really awesome. Just real quick about the tokens, what kind of things can players buy with the tokens?
Well, there's a lot of stuff that you can buy. Of course, there's a lot of things for Dungeon Maker itself, so you'll be able to buy more spawner objects, more effect objects, avatars, probably some dungeon layouts. I'm not sure exactly what the distribution of all those are. And then there'll also be things that you can purchase for your play character. So we have a set of glass items, and I believe armor and weapons. And the glass item mechanic is that once they're damaged, they can't be repaired. So they are a powerful item, and they are on par with stuff you would get in very difficult dungeons and raids. But because they are glass, they act kind of like charged items. You know, once they get damaged, you can't repair them. You'll kind of use them like consumables. So that still should hopefully make the other items still relevant. You'll want your permanent items, but these will be ones that you can get and use in certain circumstances too. So there'll be a lot of stuff that you can get. And unlike other things where you would go find those items in the world on a merchant, what we're doing differently for Dungeon Maker is we've created a new category in the marketplace interface, and you'll go there to purchase all these items. You'll still purchase them for Dungeon Maker tokens, but they'll be in the actual marketplace UI. So you'll have preview windows for the stuff, and that interface is a little friendlier. So hopefully it'll be easy for people to find things there.
All right, that sounds really cool. Thank you for spending some time with us today.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
All right, we're going to switch over to the next step, so just give us a few minutes and we'll be back. I'm not sure. Okay, so actually we're going to wait a few minutes before we get the next dev in here. So we've got a lot of stuff, like I said, that we're going to be covering today. We're going to still be talking more about the Age of Discovery Expansion, which launches today. Free-to-play, which a lot of people we expect to be being able to come back, or new players who haven't been able to really play before, or they weren't sure if they wanted to try the game. So this is a great time for you guys to definitely try it out. And then we also have GU62, which is the newest game update, which is Freeport Reborn. So there'll be a whole new revamp to the city of Freeport. It looks amazing. And then there's a bunch of new quests there. And one of the cool features we're going to be talking about is EQ2 Share, which actually allows Twitter and Facebook integration into your game. So you'll be able to broadcast your achievements, levels, and things like that. So we'll have more about that shortly. So we're actually going to be talking with Dave Georgeson again.
If you want.
Well, of course we want to. So let's talk about free-to-play. That's a huge feature that's coming out today. A lot of people want to be able to do free-to-play. How will this be different from the Freeport server, the EQ2 Extended that's already out?
I'm going to answer that, but in a different way.
Okay.
It's a coincidence that it's like Freeport server, because that's not really our intent.
Mm-hmm.
What we're doing basically is just making subscriptions optional, and there's no download fee.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all it is. I've said this before, I'll say it again. But that's really all we've done. Everything else, all the character slot math and all the other, all the discussions about what this and what that and the other thing, all we're really doing is making subscriptions optional and turning off the download fee. That's
Okay.
it. Everything else is just wash. So the stuff that was on EQ2X, like the power items on the marketplace and things like that, we've removed those because they're a source of contention.
Mm-hmm.
And once we get some better feedback mechanisms into the game so that we can get like a true assessment of what the players feel,
Mm-hmm.
We won't be adding that stuff back in until after that.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool. Let's see. Will players on the Freeport server be able to transfer to other servers after the update?
Yeah, they're just a regular server after that. Everybody's just a regular server. Everybody's part of one big happy family. So you can freely transfer. We removed the PvE to PvP transfer rule 6 months ago.
Okay.
And so yeah, now you can transfer anywhere. I think the only people that are still limited to their specific world are a few of the international servers, the
Okay.
culture specific servers.
Awesome. And then will we be having separate forums when we go free to play? Because we had the
Nope.
EverQuest II Extended ones and the regular EQ2 ones. So we're just going to just one server, or to one forum now.
I just want to note that the community manager just asked me if we were going to have one forum or two.
We want to make sure that the players know, so it's a good thing because
I'm just
there are a
giving
lot
you
of
bad
new
time.
people coming in that don't necessarily know that.
I know. We're just unifying it down to one.
Okay, that sounds really awesome.
Yeah.
So let's talk about GU62 then.
Okay.
What all is going into this content update?
Well, Freeport Reborn is huge. It started when we started talking about what we wanted to do and why we wanted to do it. Obviously, there was, the cities are pretty desolate and barren. Not a lot of players there. We all hated the way Freeport looked. We felt like it was street gang evil instead of, empire evil. It wasn't. It just.
Yeah.
It didn't feel the right kind of evil. You could be proud to be good in Kinos, but you couldn't be proud to be evil in Freeport. It was like street gangs and rats kind of evil. So what we wanted to do was build it into something where people could feel proud to be part of something bigger, even if it was a little morally bankrupt.
Yeah.
And that's what we're achieving here with Freeport is Lucan's back, and we revamped the whole city aesthetically and unified the zone into the city into one zone, which is cool, so that there's just not all that crazy zoning all the time when you're moving around in the city, which makes it easier and friendlier and stuff like that. But at the same time, we wanted to make a bunch of quests so that the quests are dynamically scaled. So when you encounter these new quests, you can pick them up at any different level, which lets people come in at lots of different levels to come back into Freeport, so that you start seeing a mix of lots of different kinds of vets and noobs all together in one place. And then to encourage people to keep coming back to Freeport, one of the baby steps we've taken is to add a lot of class and archetype specific quest lines. Because that way, if you play through Freeport with one character, then the next time you roll a new alt and you come back through Freeport, you can pick up some new content you didn't see last time. And we want to start adding more and more of that changing circumstances, make different kinds of content, dynamically populated zones, dynamically scaled dungeons, things like that, so that players can use the content whenever they feel like it, instead of just being limited to a specific level point and graying it out over time too fast and then missing stuff. So we want to make it so that it's just easier to play. And Freeport's a lot of that all together at once, and then at the same time just focusing on stories, NPCs, interactions, things like that, so that it's a more fun place. And it's pretty cool.
that sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Is there anything for good characters that they can look forward to in this expansion?
Next summer, we'll do the same thing to Kinos.
Okay.
For right now, of course, we just did Freeport. Each one of these things actually takes a lot of time to do. It takes many, many months to revamp artwork on a zone like this, especially a complicated one like a city. It's
Okay.
just a huge undertaking. And when we redo Kinos, it'll be the same thing. So right now, what we're seeing is the return of big evil into the world of Norath. Ralozek was doing his thing over in Velius. The Twin Swords of Destiny and the Age of Prophecy are swelling. All that stuff is culminating into power. You'll see some of more of that stuff next year. And Lucan and his rise back to power in Freeport. It's all symbolic of the same surge of plot line that's happening. And Kinos next summer will be part of that.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, we, okay, yeah, let's talk about mercenaries for a little bit.
I like the subject board. For those of you who are watching, she just basically pointed at a card. Awesome.
So we're going to talk a little bit with Dave about mercenaries, and then we're going to get Carlos, who is one of the devs that worked on mercenaries as well. So what do you like about mercenaries?
Well, there's a lot to like. There's little stuff to like about them just right away. Like when you hire a merc, you can obviously dress them up. And one of the things that I like, I say dress them up, and that's so belittling. But what I mean is, you want your merc to look cool when he's with you. And if you've spent a lot of time collecting appearance gear and things like that, you want your merc to also be kind of cool because it's an accoutrement. So so basically you can take any of the appearance gear that you have in your inventory, grab a piece of it, drag it over onto the merc's paper doll, and then the merc will appear to be wearing that piece of equipment. But you don't actually use the equipment; it stays in your inventory bag. It's just that it remembers the merc basically remembers what you want it to look like. And so even if you fire the merc and then hire it back later, it'll still look like the way that you had costumed it out, which is kind of cool. Of course, you can change the name and everything like that. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. The mercs themselves are very unique in that they all have their own abilities and stuff. So like a healer you acquire here might be completely different than a healer over there. One of them might be more of a battle priest, and one of them might be more of a res healer kind of thing.
Okay.
And then there's just a lot to do with the way that they change your gameplay, and that's probably what I'm most excited about. I personally play solo and small group a lot. I think a lot of people do from 1 to 89, and what this allows you to do is if you and a couple of friends can get mercs, now all of a sudden you can get a group of 6 together because mercs count as players. So you get a group of 6 together, now all of a sudden you're banging through heroic content that was completely unavailable to you before. There was no way you could get through it with just a couple of people. And if you want to take that even further, if you're one of those people that can actually get a group of 6 players together, then you could all get mercs, and now you can do an X2 raid. And that's just really, really, really cool. And I won't. Carlos can tell you about the details of the mercenaries and like the kinds of things that they can do and those sorts of things. So I won't get into that. But the impact they have on the gameplay is phenomenal. I'm hoping that opening up vistas like this for people. I mean, essentially, it's going to be tripling or quadrupling the amount of content that you can do as a solo or small group player.
That's really awesome. Okay, thank you. And we're going to hand it over. Oh, we're actually going to have a 5-minute break, and then we'll be back with Carlos.